Where do you think we are in Bitcoin's S-curve adoption?
Oh, how do you know that it's S-curve? Everybody's talking about this S-curve, and I love.
Oh.
uh, Of course, it's interesting to show some examples. Everything has S-curve adoption, but if you think there is hypercycle, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's not S. Maybe it's a more complicated letter. Uh, so I don't know where we are there. It's hard to say because maybe it's there will be stagnation, there will be some big war, and who knows where the world is. I really don't subscribe to this cyclical model, the pattern, the way of thinking about the world. It could be, but I'm not sure if this is S-curve. I bet no.
Keep 'em cold till I'm old. I don't plan to blow my load. Wallet so blue, if you know, you know. It's better than bonds, better than gold. Finna reap up what I sow. Fit money can't keep up, it gets sold. How many times you been told? DCA's the way to go. Higher highs, higher lows. Every year my network grows. Every day my network grows. Running relays, running nodes. Yeah. Dollar a day's a minimum. Stats, zap sats. Any fear I get, I'm flipping them.
Or is there something I need to know about you, Tomek?
Why am I in Sri Lanka, right?
And
Hide
why would
from
you mention the KGB?
always.
That's
Just I need to blame somebody for the internet connections. But I'm not sure how we can, if we can do very quick 21 questions because there is a lag. We are far time zones. It looks like we
yeah.
have like around 3 seconds lag.
Okay, well, we will try. So I will explain things roughly. The goal is to get through 21 questions in 10 minutes. I sent you the questions ahead of time. However, I will ask them in random order.
All right.
The timer is set to 10 minutes, as you can see.
All right, let's assume I never seen the questions.
Okay, so I will ask the first question and then I will start the timer. Tomek, are you ready?
I am ready.
First question, what's a lightning channel?
Lightning channel is the way to establish, instead of sending somebody Bitcoin on-chain, you can establish so-called lightning channel and sign a multi-sig transaction, which works this way that you can actually send each other Bitcoin to each other multiple times for almost no cost within this one, actually two, because there is opening channel and closing channel. Within those two on-chain transactions, you can basically make multiple transactions, but on a network of Bitcoin, but on a network of Lightning network. And those pairs, because there is two partners of each channel, those pairs of nodes, of Lightning nodes, of Bitcoin users, they create actually Lightning network. So Lightning network consists of such multiple complex network of pairs who open channel to each other. So if I have channel with you, you have channel with somebody else, I can send to this third person sats through your channel. It depends, of course, on this channel capacity. And then we call it Lightning network. So channel is this basic structure of the Lightning network that allows pairs of users, and having this pairs whole network, thousands today, and hundreds of thousands of users to send Bitcoin instantly in peer-to-peer form and actually through Bitcoin one-on-one, but just over a different protocol.
Name a project that's not FOSS, free and open software, but is still good.
Oh, I have to shield Bitcoin Film Festival. I also, with friends, run a Bitcoin Film Fest initiative, and we have a festival, film festival. Our mission is fostering growth of Bitcoin culture through Bitcoin cinema, and we build network of people in Bitcoin cinema and people in Bitcoin and in movie making, and kind of foster the growth of this industry. And also once a year we organize a film festival, and this year it happens on May 22 to 25 in Warsaw. It's our third edition. We have our own Oscars, and that happens on our event. And this initiative is not just the event, but a whole year initiative, which there is no code, but it's maximally open as so far we can be. So check it out, bitcoinfilmfest.com.
How many times did you hear about Bitcoin before you decided to learn more about it?
Oh, I think that when I heard about it, I immediately checked more. Learned first about Bitcoin when I still am, but when I was quite active libertarian activist here in Poland. So when I heard that there is some technology, I was always fascinated with the internet and those different inventions over there. That is money, and it's actually something that can end the Fed. It was quite popular term around the time in Poland as well. So then I checked, hey, this is like something you can buy drugs. Okay, this is quite complicated to use it. Uh, there is some QR codes. There is somebody was giving paper wallets on the meetup that I learned about it. So I think it's not many, but it took me many more times and years till I actually understood. Damn, like it's so much bigger than I realized, and has so much more chance of succeeding.
What is a great educational resource for people who are new to Bitcoin?
Today, probably Plan B Network. They are rocking lately. Very well structured list of content, their own courses, and it's constantly growing. They have meetups, communities, hands down. There is many places, of course. But today, I really see lots of potential in how fast these guys are moving and how well designed the content is. So if you're looking for good Bitcoin content, check planb.network, I think.
How are payments routed on the Lightning Network?
So as I said, right, Lightning Network consists of these pairs of users. And if I want to send to someone, there is like amount of hops.
I'm going to pause because...
Lightning connection. I guess we have
Yeah,
some
I'm pausing it.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
there's
again?
a bit of lags, but... Yeah, okay, go.
So as I said, Lightning Network consists of these pairs of users, and between each two users in Lightning Network, there is either direct connection or indirect connection with few hops in between through whom we can send sats. This routing is quite complicated in the Lightning Network because if you want to send to somebody and it needs to go through different channels, these channels have their own connectivity, their own capacity. So routing nodes, they have their algorithm of estimating, okay, which way can I send those sats to payment to succeed. Sometimes the payment needs to be split. Routing nodes usually estimate how good is another path, how good is the path in terms of capacity that can go through, and how reliable. They sometimes have their own ranking mechanism of different nodes. How reliable is the node? How well connected is the other node? It's quite complicated, so I don't know the exact algorithm, but in essence, that's what routing is. The nodes need to decide, and it's a quite complex way to figure out which way to send sats over Lightning Network. But they do it better every year.
Where do you think we are in Bitcoin's S-curve adoption?
Oh, how do you know that it's S-curve? Everybody's talking about this S-curve, and I love. Of course, it's interesting to show some examples. Everything has S-curve adoption, but if you think there is hypercycle, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's not S. Maybe it's a more complicated letter. So I don't know where we are there. It's hard to say because maybe it's there will be stagnation, there will be some big war, and who knows where the world is. I really don't subscribe to this cyclical modeled pattern, the way of thinking about the world. It could be, but I'm not sure if this is S-curve. I bet not.
I like that. What makes a good peer on the Lightning Network?
A good peer on the Lightning Network? Well, if I have lots of transactions with you, Saida, you would be a good peer for me. Because maybe I'm buying books from you, or you are donating to my initiative often, so why we need to settle on chain if we can settle on the Lightning Network. If somebody is a regular user of Lightning Network and doesn't have his Saida or Tomek, and he just wants to participate with everyone in quite efficient manner, there are there are nodes that specialize in being connected to the Lightning Network and being well connected
Yeah.
and staying online, and we call them LSPs. And what makes a good LSP? How cheap it is to transact through it. Do they sell you liquidity? Because that's also something that matters in the Lightning Network. How well it is connected. It's still a young, this LSP industry is quite a young industry, so they're still figuring all technicalities and business models. So there is no yet that exact product market fit for it. We are very early there, but those are the standards by which I guess good partner is measured. How well he is connected, how often he stays online, and maybe you need to consider how often you actually do transaction with him or through him.
Yep. Is a Lightning channel a type of multi-sig contract?
Yes, you can call it this way. Those two channel partners, they actually one of them fund a multi-sig transaction, and together they can either close the channel and pay out according to previous transactions they did through the Lightning Network, or there is also some time lock mechanism when things can be disputed, and there is of course various security mechanisms that ensure that your channel partner cannot steal from you.
Where can an individual find another peer to open a channel with?
Or you can find on your local community. Very often just Bitcoin meetups, Bitcoin communities, they form their own node runners groups and open channels with each other to be better connected, to test it out. But if you look for LSPs, they are your typical channel partners. You just put LSP on Google LSP Bitcoin, you can find them. In Alby Hub, we have recommended channel partners. So per each type of channel opening, you have, I think, 6 today recommended LSP, like Olympus, like Async, like Kappa, or LN Server Wave. You can find them in Alby Hub.
What's a forced channel closure?
So this is one of these either two parties time. I didn't see that we had. Yes, you are adding it to post production. I see.
10 minutes. Yeah, well, I have the alarm that's set, but in post production, I do add like the music and stuff. But we can continue in the questions because I think this is good. Yeah. So, forced channel closure you're talking about.
You can either agree with your counterparty that okay, we don't need this channel anymore. Let's settle on chain, or you can call the action to Ursula. I'm out. I'm not even waiting for. But actually, you need to wait more because forced channel closure actually opposite, unlike the mutual channel closure, is not immediate. There is a time for dispute. But if, for example, the other node is not responsive and cannot sign a transaction closing channel transaction, you need to do forced closure. So there is, of course, a way for any party to close down their channels without their agreement of the counterparty.
Yep. So who has had the greatest influence on your personal Bitcoin journey?
I don't think there was one. Many friends who were shilling me Bitcoin before I got into it. Friends whom I was shilling Bitcoin and I was educating them, and by educating them, you actually learn a lot and you understand things better, right? There was Saifeddin Amu's book, but I think I was already convinced before reading it. There was earlier works like Ayn Rand and to Ludwig von Mises, whose works and reading them, they set my mindset to thinking about freedom, about money. So hard to name one. Many podcasters, I listen to a lot of Peter McCormack, but I don't think he would change anything, and none of this is a centralized impact,
Yep. 100%. How many cryptos are there?
Few thousand probably. I don't know. It depends how
I
you
think it's
count
gotten.
them, right? How because you can start cryptocurrency and maybe there is no other people using it. Is it a cryptocurrency?
Oh, if a tree falls in the forest and no one hears, does it really fall?
Kind of, yeah. So I don't know. You can check it on CoinGecko or somewhere, but I think there used to be like more than 2,000, maybe more or
So
less.
the year is 20. I think it's up to the millions, actually. I saw that somewhere and I was absolutely shocked. I stopped paying attention to the number of cryptos, I don't know,
I doubt
a
it.
long time ago. Feels
Yeah, you need to have
okay.
some
So
measurement, right? When yeah.
okay, I'm not going to look it up, but I'll see afterwards in post production, and I'll include it as a graphic. Okay, so the next question is: the year is 2035. Is there a lot of on-chain activity, or has everyone moved to Lightning or another L2?
17,000 cryptocurrencies.
Oh, so you are looking it up.
On
Okay, let's look.
CoinGecko, yes. On CoinGecko, it was
Let's
70,000.
look.
Year 2035. Is there any on-chain? Is there an on-chain activity or everybody moved to Lightning? I hope there is on both. I doubt everything will be. We'll have channel closures, which will be settled on-chain. Larger transactions, people would probably rather do on-chain, or maybe in 2035 or already. Today we can do big transactions between good nodes on Lightning Network. I think there will be activity on both. I don't think that on-chain activity will be less. It will just mean that the transactions will be cheaper. So
Yeah.
I guess also the fee mechanism kind of would make this activity steady. I think that in 2035 we would still see 1,000, 2,000 transactions in a block per block, and we would see on the Lightning Network. I I hope billions of dollars moved every day,
Yeah.
billions of
Yeah.
sats.
Yeah. If Bitcoin didn't
Okay,
exist,
billions of
would
sats.
you be a
Sorry,
gold
billions of sats?
of Sats?
Yeah,
That
maybe went too
is,
far.
yeah. If Bitcoin didn't exist, would you be a
Two
gold bug?
billions. 2
2
billions.
billion Sats.
That's,
That's
that's almost all Bitcoin. If I sorry,
if Bitcoin didn't exist, would you be a gold bug?
no, I don't think so. I was already kind of when I was realizing I hate the Fed, central banks, and we need better money. I was already rather looking into uh, investment, right? Digital investment,
Oh yeah.
cryptocurrencies, something more
Yeah.
forward looking, and I could understand, I guess, or feel a bit the notion that digital is more futuristic and gives much more possibilities than storing value. So no, I wouldn't be a gold bug. I probably would have maybe some gold, but no, carry it around.
In your pocket.
Yeah, I don't have things. I don't like many material things.
Clearly, you have the same T-shirt times 20.
Today times four,
Um,
yes.
do you speak to friends and family about Bitcoin?
Yeah, of course. What is even this question? Yes, of course I
Yeah,
speak
well, I
about.
mean,
It's not like I'm mentioning it every occasion and waiting for my uncle at the dinner table to talk about politics. Uh,
as soon as he starts to drink, you're like, Bitcoin.
no, I think I learned efficiency of when my goal is to maybe inform someone or convince someone or maybe erase his interest. Uh, I think the subtle ways are more effective rather than talking to people like every day and to mentioning Bitcoin at every occasion, right? So uh, I think my friends and family, like, of course, remember me. Okay, this Bitcoin guy,
Yeah.
but they are not tired with it, I hope.
Oh, that's good. Approximately how much Bitcoin is locked up in channel liquidity throughout the network?
In Lightning Network,
The Lightning Network. Yeah.
yeah, I think it's quite steady since some years. It's around 5,000 Bitcoin. Only, I think it's not much. It's not billions of Satoshi, all right? But only 5,000 Bitcoin. So what we
Yeah.
mine, we so quickly we mine it. But only 5,000 since some time is locked in. You can also check it on some websites, but I believe this is around it. Let's check.
Yeah, I think it's about 5,000. And sometimes it goes down, well,
Yeah.
according to on my block clock, I have it. It's not showing up here, but
What?
I have it in. Sometimes it dips to like 4,800, but it's about 5,000 consistently.
Yeah, it's not much. I- I'm locking myself more and more every year.
The years,
I'm using Lightning Network more, so I hope that the global trend will also be going upwards soon. We are pioneers.
so how do you manage your channels when you travel? This is not one of the questions, but because you are traveling and you're saying that you lock in more and more every year, how do you manage that when you travel?
Oh, I'm using this great product called Alby Hub. On Alby Cloud, users can
Alby Hub, okay, yeah.
log
On the
in
cloud,
through
yeah,
their
okay,
browser to their node. It's their
yeah,
own node. So they have their sole
yeah,
exclusive ownership of their keys.
yeah,
And yes,
yeah,
Alby Cloud, you don't need to maintain the hardware, travel with it. Alby runs it for you on their
yeah,
premises,
yeah,
and you log in with your browser.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. So through Alby, I think it was in 2021, I opened my first Lightning channel. And then there was a problem with the internet, and my daughter was a lot smaller. And where I had my node, she would like play with it and stuff. And I was like, okay, this is going to be complicated for me. I am not a good channel partner because one day we're up and running, the other day, oh, it's off.
Yeah, I see. This is it's still tricky. It's still self-custody is
Yeah.
not every
Yeah.
for everyone. You need to. It's better if you know a bit how it works and why some channels might get closed, what makes a good node. Then yes, go
Yeah.
run the node. But if you don't want to learn about it yet, then still you can maybe try using node of somebody else and until the day that you get invested enough in it, your time.
Yeah. For me, the issue is uptime.
Mm.
It's really consistency. Okay, so the year is 2030. The fiat price of Bitcoin is $500,000. How has your life changed?
500,000 in 2030, it will be 1 0 more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, I have to like, when I come up with the questions, I'm like, do I feel, I don't know, realistic today? Do I want to see
I
how the
see.
person reacts to the number I put out? Like,
Okay, I see.
it
Okay, so
changes.
sometimes
I've
you
asked it
ask about
before with a million.
$5, sometimes
No,
500,000.
sometimes it's either a million or 500,000. But I'm guessing you'd still have the same black t-shirts.
I think it will by 2030, it will be very difficult, and with the way the world goes, it will be very difficult for dollar to maintain this price of Satoshi mm, at such a low level. It's
Yeah,
maybe not about Bitcoin being adopted more, but more probably about money being much worse, fiat money.
yeah. I mean, the
And
way
how
things
will,
are going.
but okay,
Go ahead.
that's a prediction. But how would my life change? I don't think it would much. I would still travel a lot, meet
Have
with
the
my
same.
friends, listen to the music, and go on the beach and post about
Yeah.
Bitcoin and promote some Bitcoin. Do my professional work. I guess it wouldn't change that much, and the price wouldn't change the way I live.
Yeah. That's when you know things are like you are where you need to be in life, in my opinion. So why choose to build on Bitcoin and and not on another chain's L2?
Probably depends what you want to achieve. If you want to achieve some decentralized computer, maybe there are some other chains. I don't know how these things work, to be honest. But if you need to anchor some digital value to real value, monetary value, then it's good to use actual monetary network of Bitcoin. If you want some digital information or metadata about some information to be saved in an immutable history, you can anchor it to Bitcoin. If you want some chronology confirmation of some digital events, you want to use decentralized and the strongest network, which is Bitcoin. And in various this type of use cases that Bitcoin helps, I guess it's even if other chains could perform the same utility, decentralization matters. The amount of people that look at it, the amount of software that is being built matters, and Bitcoin clearly wins. So I don't know about other chains, but if I maybe knew more, I could figure some use cases there.
So I think that I was probably really tired when I typed up some of these questions because I'm not sure what I meant here, but I think it is, what is multi-sig? I put multis. I'm missing the IG, I guess, at the end. What is multi-sig? We'll say that.
So typically in Bitcoin, when we speak about Bitcoin ownership and Bitcoin sending some Bitcoins, in basic meaning, we talk about something called single sig, meaning that one set of keys, one private key, to simplify it, is needed to control some Bitcoin, to send Bitcoin out of this address. But there are also more sophisticated setups in Bitcoin network where there needs to be signatures of two individual unique private keys to control, to send Bitcoins out of some address. So this can be controlled by two people, maybe by two different people if they have a marriage or just some agreement or business, or maybe 10 people who own some company and they have their shares. This multi-sig creates lots of interesting setups. There is also something called time lock, which makes it even more interesting because this multi-sig scheme can change over time. And such multi-sig makes ownership of Bitcoin more sophisticated, which means it might be a bit more difficult to properly perform transaction or to know how to handle this all. But it's if you have a single sig and you lose your keys, then goodbye your Bitcoin. But if you have a multi-sig setup and you lose one of keys and you actually don't need them all to control Bitcoin, then not goodbye Bitcoin. Maybe let's figure where the keys are, and you can distribute them geographically. You can distribute them in time, so you can inheritance makes interesting use case for multi-sigs. It's a type of logic. Multi-sig is type of the logic put of the relationship between key and address, and this you can build on this logic. What if and
I think it was on Andreas Antonopoulos a few years ago. It is a few years ago, so I'm like dating this, but I think he said that having a multi-sig setup or a complex multi-sig setup will probably increase your chances of losing your keys, like you losing your Bitcoin, not losing, but losing control and access to your Bitcoin compared to just a regular single sig, like just a regular setup.
In some cases, yes. I guess it depends on a person, of course. I'm glad that there is many options, right? And even if you have a single sig control on the Bitcoin protocol, those 12 words you can maybe split into half and give half of them to one lawyer, half of them to another lawyer. They don't know about each other, and just in case you have backups somewhere, and you can have your own proxy multi-sig setup. But on the Bitcoin
Yeah.
chain, it's actually quite easy because you need to collect 7 balls or 12 words from different parts of the world to collect one key. Mm, Technically, probably it would be a bit, you would need to use some tool to nicely create and distribute keys so one person doesn't know them all, etc. But yeah, it's quite complicated. Yes, still to use it. I
Yeah.
encourage everyone who listens maybe to it to try to use maybe Sparrow Wallet, maybe Nunchuck, maybe Blue
Yeah.
or Liana, and do multi-sig on their own. Or when you go to a meetup or organize a meetup, try to do multi-sig between you all, or maybe some of you
Yeah.
try to send, retrieve it, do signature of messages if somebody has a key and another one has a key. And how do you actually
That's
go
actually a
and
really good
sign these
idea.
messages? You need to have public addresses. Even if you have a private key of yourself, you need public key of somebody else, even if he's not present to sign the transaction.
Yeah.
And then even if he's not needed, you need his expat, and sometimes people they don't remember it. So it's a good workshop always to just accommodate yourself with what multi-sig is and how not trivial it is.
Yeah, yeah. That's actually a really good idea. I'm going to see if I can do like a sort of like a podcast hangout now that you mentioned that with a few other people so that we can just like mess around and play with multi-sig so people can see us and see the process. That's a
There are
very
so
good
many
idea.
different tools to do multi-sig.
Yeah.
They sometimes also speak different derivation schemes or different
Yeah.
language or technical language.
Multi-sig
So
parties.
yeah, that means that also means that Andreas might have been right for some cases. But if you actually care about your Bitcoin and you know you tested it, try it.
Yeah.
Multisig is fun.
Yep. So, what's your favorite book?
Ooh, uh, I think it's Selfish Gene by Richard Dawkins.
Selfish Jim?
Selfish Gene like Gene,
A selfish
your
gene. Hold
genome.
on.
Yes, it's a science book, popular science.
Okay.
uh, from biology.
Okay.
It's a quite revolutionary and probably one of the most influential and popular science book. It's not even popular science; it's a true science book. Zoologist and rationalist from Britain, Richard Dawkins. You're showing something. Oh yes,
Yep. Can you see it on the screen?
yes, I can see it.
There we go. It should be picture. Hold on. View tab in Riverside.
So he kind of
There we go.
in general he explains there how out of very simple and basic premises how those different nucleotides combine with each other and replicate themselves, and sometimes there is a mistake in this replication, which what's when where mutation happens, and then survival of the fittest cause lots of, cause life and cause basically evolution of species. It's caused that the selection is not driven by urges of species or individuals, but actually it emerges out of chemical properties, biological properties of DNA, and this gene, the smallest replicable piece of DNA code that has some impact on the living organism, how without consciousness, because it's not conscious, it's just a chemical structure.
Yeah.
It seems to be driven by his own survival, being very selfish, and whatever he does through the years of evolution, it's driven by the survival of this little replicable piece called gene. And this simple,
Yep.
seemingly simple premises give us influence structures of society, male-female dynamics, how explains lots of species and animals and their mechanisms, wings or eyes. Beautifully written, inspiring book. Changes your thinking, maybe it changes, structurizes your thinking of life and understanding of life. There also has been many follow-up books to it. It's a whole
Yeah.
universum of Gene by Dawkins. Yeah, it's my favorite because he laid the idea so eloquently and elegantly that it's a important book for science, but speaks to person who is not a scientist and doesn't speak scientific language
Yeah.
and would like to be more entertained. It's an entertaining book, and I always loved some. I loved. I was intrigued and curious about phenomena that emerge from simplicity into complex uh, situations, complex structures. Like Bitcoin also is, when you think of it, it's quite simple, has some simple rules. But how it evolved now into whole cultural phenomena and how much impact it has everywhere. How game of Go has very simple rules. How you put stones, how you cannot put stones, and you have out of it you have the most complicated and the most unique game, probably the biggest board game of history of humanity, and various ideas like this always fascinated me. And Selfish Gene is one of such ideas.
I will add that to my reading list. Thank you. Selfish Gene. I'd never heard of that book before.
Glad I could recommend.
Yes. Well, we've gotten through the 21 questions. That's the last one. So I don't think I'm going to include the timer in this
All
because
right.
of the lag and stuff. And because we were cut off the first time. So it'll run 30 minutes or 40
We
minutes
will
or
need
however
some
long the total is.
explanations.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, audience, my internet is not very good.
Yeah. But you're still able to connect to Alby Hub and pay with sats. So it's good
Exactly,
enough.
exactly. Alby Cloud, my Alby Hub on my Alby Cloud. No downtimes, just log in and use my node 24/7, even with
So,
bad
Tomek,
internet
can you
connection.
even with bad interest, that's the test, right? I don't know. Have you heard of Machinkura
Yes,
Kodatsu?
yes.
Yeah. So with no internet connection, it is still possible to spend satoshis and
There is
receive
so many
satoshis.
interesting innovations on Bitcoin ownership, transfer. One of them, which we talked, is Lightning Network, and we have this also much on Kura, eCash, Liquid. There's various.
Yeah,
You can have this multi-sigs and split those keys and then sell them to someone. Oh,
yeah. I think your multi-sig party idea is inspiring me to do just podcast episodes where I'll ask someone to come on so that we can try something new, because I feel like over the past 2 or 3 years, there's so many things that have come out that it's difficult to keep track and to test everything. So if I kind of do like sort of a double duty, it's a podcast episode, so it's content, plus we can play with it and test it. I think that would help me personally, and hopefully the few people who watch this would feel as though, they're getting value as well.
so remember, if you want to do it quickly, uh, you need to first test the flow of each of wallet, choose the wallet, tell others to install it. If you have
Yeah.
more time, you could ask your attendees, okay, so how do we actually do multisig? Does anyone know? Can we generate? Can you sign it? You know, start with research and see that, okay, there is different wallets. Can you actually do multisig out of different wallets? And can you later sign from different wallets? What if you have your keys and you have, there is like so many options, but you will need more time to actually, if a group needs to figure that out, yeah.
To plan it, yeah. I'm pretty good at coordinating things and organizing ahead of time. So,
Nice.
and I actually did a lot of technical writing. So I'm good at, well, when I'm not tired and I spell properly, I'm good at like bullet points and just like step 1, step 2, step 3. So I'll
Good.
figure that out. And maybe you'll come back and join us for a session if you're not traveling somewhere new.
Maybe we can see each other at the Bitcoin Film Fest in Warsaw, May 22 to
in
25.
Warsaw.
You live not that far from Warsaw. You could make a trip.
Yeah, in Geneva. I've never been to Poland before. So before we close out, please tell me, because I've traveled to Russia, to Krasnodar for a friend's wedding like 10 years ago. And I think that's it. I've never been to like eastern
That's it. Out of
parts
what?
of Europe.
Okay, out of Eastern. Okay.
I've only heard stories, and I'm guessing that some of the stories I hope I heard have been exaggerated. So
Stories
what would
about
I
what?
expect about, I don't know. Well, okay. Disclaimer, I am very ignorant. I know very little about Poland and its history, Hungary and its history, Romania and its history. I'm hearing bits and pieces a lot more now, given the current climate, I shall say.
Warming.
So my like the most important thing for me is, if I travel by myself, will I be safe? That is like the bottom line.
In Poland is probably today is one of the safest countries on the planet.
Okay.
So yes, maybe 90s brought some bad rep, but I guess today not counting the danger from our eastern neighbors, but like the
Okay.
internal
Yeah.
security, but the internal security, I mean safety, is on a rather highly level. I don't know how many, maybe, okay, Geneva is also up there, right? But how many big European cities of 2 million citizens, women can comfortably walk at 3 a.m. drunk home? I think Warsaw is one of such places where
Okay.
there is not that high risk, and it's quite clean city. The
Okay.
infrastructure is rather cool. So yeah, especially like recent years, I think we are getting a better rep on the street for safety.
Okay. So if I
So you can
travel by
come. Yes,
myself, I will
we
be
will not
safe.
kill you if you come to Warsaw. We will not eat
He says
you.
with a smile, "We won't kill you."
No, it's not this year. It's maybe 20 years ago.
Okay. Okay, that is the bottom line. And remind us again, when is the festival taking place? Where can we find you? Where can we find
Of
more information
course,
about the
of course,
festival?
I can tell you. May 22, the best day to visit Poland, the best weekend of film festival season. May 22 is
Hold on.
Bitcoin Pizza Day, and then Bitcoin
Yes.
Film Festival on May 23, 24, and 25. It's in Warsaw. You can
What's
guys
the
check
website?
bitcoinfilmfest.com. And on Twitter and Nost, you can find us and tag at Bitcoin Film Fest.
So let us pull this up. BitcoinFilmFest.com. Here we are. BFF
Oh, yeah.
25. Very good. And so you said you're on Noster and you're also on Twitter, on X. Here you are. Okay.
Yes.
And Noster. Very good. And on Telegram as well.
You can
And
click on this
Tomek,
first link, BFF25, on the first on the top. Sorry,
oh,
on
at the top.
Yes.
Yep.
Is it open?
So tickets, submissions.
No, the
Will I see
BFF25.
who's BFF 20?
Either top left in the
Here?
menu or the top. I don't see your mouse, but the BFF25.
Oh,
link.
here it is. Yeah, it's darker. Now it's good.
I don't see it on the
I
screen
clicked
share.
it. You're not seeing it?
No, it's probably the sharing
Um,
the tab or something.
Share tab instead. Are you
Oh
seeing
yeah,
it now?
here. I see it now, yes.
Hold on. View tab in Riverside. Here we
Ah, I
go.
can see it
That's
now,
probably
yes,
better.
yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. So, but now it's not letting me scroll down the way it was before.
So
Well, we
users
have,
can visit on their own. Bitcoinfilmfest.com, guys,
yeah.
check out. We still have early bird tickets, only 55 euros to watch all the films and have VOD access and lots of merch and the best space and time to network with people who are also concerned about Bitcoin culture, and we manifest and celebrate this Bitcoin culture through cinema. You will see it's a really fun and cozy event. Can't wait, guys, to see you in Warsaw.
Oh, very nice. And where can people find you, Tomek?
In Warsaw, at the Bitcoin Film Festival on May 22.
No, I mean like on Nostr or on X, your
I
handle,
guess
or your
links
name.
in the footnotes or something, right?
Okay,
in the
links
description
in
of
the
this movie,
footnotes.
yes. You can find me at It's Tomek K, ITSTOMEKK. So Tomek is my name, It's Tomek K is my handle.
It's my game.
Yes. Again, but you can find me on various places. I'm Googleable.
All right. Googleable. Well, thank you very much, Tomek, for answering 21 questions with no
Muchas
timer.
gracias,
The timer is
Helga.
going to be deleted.
Shukran, thank you for this. Sorry for the
Shukran.
technical hurdles, but yeah, that's life, guys. We are not perfect every time.
Yeah,
So thank you all,
exactly.
guys, for listening as well. Thank you for the invitation, for your time, and for giving me a platform to talk about Alby and Bitcoin Film Fest. So glad to be here. Thank you for what you're doing. We need podcasts to various audiences with different guests and topics. It's a content that will stay, and hopefully we maybe made somebody a bit more interested in Selfish Gene.
Yeah.
Keys. Yeah. Man like quakes. Man like who? Yeah. Takes her Bitcoin off exchanges under self-custody. She runs her own node, providing liquidity. Yeah, she got her own keys. She got her own keys. She got her own keys. Yeah, she got her own keys. 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 Yeah, she got her own keys.